wouldn't be very interested in advocating for my budget. So that was where we started. And then we worked on the idea of increasing library funding. We've had a number of, I would say, action steps that are moving us towards that goal. And a lot of that has to do with a more effective budget presentation. We start there. And so, for example, we develop our messages related to our budget presentation each year. And I'm in that process right now because I will be making my budget presentation to my city council next month. So I get together with my key staff, many of whom are on this advocacy committee that I talked about. We develop our message for what we want to say to not only the city council that will ultimately hear my budget presentation, but to my city manager first, who has to agree with the budget I'm presenting, and the community. And the community can include our friends groups, of course. I notice there's a lot of friends in the room today, and you all are so important. Our friends are just invaluable to me in El Paso. It is because of them, probably more than any other group, that we have been able to keep our heads above water, really, in terms of our budget. Last year, our budget was cut 7%, but it would have been worse if we hadn't been able to fill the room with friends, library friends, and they all wore the same color shirt and made it very clear who they were in the city council chambers. In addition to supporters, and here again is where that frontline advocacy comes in and your staff comes in. Not only just talking about to customers, to our patrons, what the library has to offer, but I tell my staff there's nothing wrong with telling them when the budget hearing is. You know, we can't maybe necessarily advocate too much for the budget at the circulation desk or any other place in the library, but we can certainly tell people, you know, the library budget hearing is on July 21st, and if you're interested in more of this kind of book or more hours for the library to be open, that would be a really good time for you to go and present your point of view. So we're having some success with that as well. And then, of course, our final audience that we'll reach will be the city council at that budget hearing. But if we have done our homework, if we've shaped our message appropriately and effectively, if we have rallied our supporters and our friends and others, our family members of staff, whoever we can get to come to the budget hearing, then I believe we will have a very successful budget year. And so that is an example of our budget plan or our advocacy plan. The goals we've established, some of the action steps that we're utilizing to get to our goals. And if you just move a